But let's go and speak to a man there who was not only in the presser, he's the host of the Sunday edition with Sean Costas, which is a brilliant show, and also writes the talkSPORT website. It's the one and only Mr. Henry Winter. Henry, good evening, sir.
Hi guys, how are we?
Very well indeed, Henry. Listen, thank you so much, mate, for joining us here. I'm feeling a little bit for Southgate because had Maguire been fit, he almost certainly would have stayed with the squad and almost certainly started. He's had to find a new partnership, and that's not something going into tournament he's had to think a great deal about because Maguire has been pretty much a mainstay.
Yeah, he's been a mainstay, and he's a leader. He's never let England or Southgate down, and he's an attacking threat at set pieces. And they've been so important. We remember them particularly in 2018.
Absolutely.
How important he was, and then also with his penalty taking as well. So he's a miss, but it sounded like he wouldn't have actually been he wouldn't have been available for the group stage. And as Southgate said, he could only take one risk, and that was with Luke Shaw. Slightly surprised that obviously Mark Gay is going to start alongside Stones against Serbia in the first game. Slightly surprised at Jared Branthwaite, who is left-footed, who has actually played, I think, one game at left back for Everton this season. Who's had a good game apart from the that slight bullying by Erling Haaland. In the City game, he was the one that I was surprised about, but otherwise a very forward-looking squad.
What about the other injuries? Gordon is another one that might be a doubt. Do you have any idea what the squad, or did Gareth let us know what the squad might look like in that first game?
Gordon trained today. When I was watching it at Tottenham Hotspur's training ground, I mean, we only get sort of 15 minutes, and they're not going at full pelt, and they're the other side of the pitch. But yeah, Gordon looks fine, and you know what he's like. I mean, he's been Newcastle United's player of the season. He gives you something different, because a lot of England's players on the left, even though they are high quality, they tend to drift inside. So you assume Foden will play against Serbia, but he plays on the left, will drift inside into a number 10 position along with towards Bellingham. Eze as well, he can play as a 10, but he often drifts in from the left. Gordon just gives you that adrenaline pace down the left, and I assume he was one of the reasons why Marcus Rashford was left out initially.
I mean, Henry, the one, I say big gamble, but it's a gamble, is Luke Shaw. He's picking him, and he says he'll play some part in the second game. Is he that close? And when he says some part, is he going to start? Do you know? Is it going to be, if we're 2 or 3-0 up, he comes on, plays a couple of minutes just to get his legs? Like, how close or far is he? Do you know?
England have a long tradition of taking semi-fit players to tournaments and then not actually sort of seeing them play that much. But I just think that Luke Shaw is so important for England. He has been. He scored in the last European final, and particularly if you do have these players who drift in off the left, Luke Shaw's ability to sort of overlap, deliver the crosses is even more important. But it's a gamble. Look, you guys played at the top level. You know how long it takes to actually get back. He hasn't played since the middle of February. He'll need time to get his sharpness back, and they'll try to ease him in. But look, England are going to get to the round of 16, so if they ease him in slowly and he picks up pace, maybe the adrenaline will take him through, maybe the experience will take him through. But at some point, if he's coming up against one of the top French wingers in the semi-final, whenever it is, he's going to need to be at full pace.
Henry, there are a number of positions that I think that he really needs to think about. Obviously, that left-hand side at fullback looks like Trippier. I think the back three, other than that, probably pick itself. But the position next to Rice, who plays there? Is it going to be a Mainu or Wharton type, or is it going to be Trent, or is he going to go with Bellingham there? Because we know he can do that. That would then free up a space for other players to be playing in their natural. Foden to be playing his natural number 10 position. Saka starts on the right, and then that left-hand side position. There's still some unanswered questions here. What do you think he'll go with next to Rice?
I don't think he'll play 2 6s. In the group stage. I just don't see the point. I think you need a player like Trent Alexander-Arnold, who he's been trying to look at in the last game. I mean, ironically, Alexander-Arnold probably had his most important moment was when he went to right back, and Grealish crossed and he scored the good goal against Bosnia on the volley. But I just think his passing, I mean, look, you guys have played. When a player can actually ping a ball. England had it with Scholes. They've absolutely got it with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think if you've got a player of that passing quality, who you have put in the top 5-10 passers in the world over range, that ability to unleash, pace, particularly if it's Bukayo Saka down the right, Trent Alexander-Arnold can do that. So my gut feeling is that he will go with Rice as a 6. I know he plays more as an 8 with Arsenal, but he's more of a 6 with England, with Trent alongside him, and then maybe bed in, I don't know, or have a look at one of the younger kids. But you've got to realise, when you look at this squad, and my first reaction was, this isn't simply a squad for 2024. This is a squad for 2026 as well. And the ramifications of that is that Southgate clearly wants to stay on. I mean, I'm sort of speculating here, but you look at that squad, he's looking for the future, particularly with those two midfielders you've been talking about in Maino and Wharton.
If we look ahead of to tomorrow's game against Iceland, Henry, and I know you said it's a very inexperienced squad, let's be honest. Do you think we're going to see a lot of those players? And we're going to have Faye Carruthers on a little bit later, and we'll ask her the same question. She may know as well. Or do you think we'll see his strongest possible 11 that perhaps will start against Serbia?
He has to go with his strongest possible 11, and that's why I think it was quite good then made the squad announcement today, so he could focus on the 26 or however many he's got in there, because obviously Bellingham won't play tomorrow. He's been given that extra time off after the Champions League. I imagine it will be Pickford, Walker. Stones still needs games. He needs minutes in his legs, and then Gahey and Trippier, the right-footed left back, and then probably Trent and obviously Declan Rice, who came out and spoke so well today. Spoke actually, and you guys would understand this, with great empathy for his friends, his teammates who are not in the squad anymore. And little things. I was talking to an England player the other day, or a former England player, and he was saying one of the worst moments is when you have to leave the group WhatsApp chat, because you've obviously got, you don't want all these instructions about what time you've got to come down to breakfast on an England tour when you're not there. And then I would have thought Saka fully fit. He definitely needs games. Whether we'll see a bit more of Palmer, Foden coming in off the left, and he said that Harry Kane is going to start. I think it's quite interesting he's gone with 3 strikers, because he tends not to do that in previous tournaments. Obviously he's had Rashford on the left who could come in and be like a third striker, but he has to go as strong as possible because the clock's ticking.
Indeed. Henry, you're a superstar. Appreciate that, matey. And I've heard you've written an article for talkSPORT.com. The final 26-man squad. You'll be doing that in a piece for the website after every single England game.
Yeah, and the danger of Lego is when you tread on it in the morning when your kids have been playing.
Ain't that the truth?
That is the worst thing. That would put me out of a tournament, and I'm just a journalist.
The old metatarsal there, getting old Lego.
No, don't mention that.
Indeed. Yeah, Henry, top man, appreciate that, bud. Enjoy the game tonight.
Henry.
Or tomorrow night.
Take care, guys.
Henry Winter, the brilliant Henry Winter there, and you can hear him host of the Sunday edition on talkSPORT Sunday morning. That is with Sean Custis.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.